Black and White Sports.
Listen, I don't buy tickets anyways because that team doesn't get my money to buy merchandise right now. I don't buy anything Browns until Kevin Stefanski loses his job.
Hey, now remember, hold on. This is the most incredible part of the comedy. There were 35 quarterbacks on this roster at one point. And this guy, you guys won't let this boy even pretend like he's going to play? I don't know how you Browns fans do it, man. It's remarkable.
Weekdays from 4 to 6 on 100.7 The Ticket. His Store and More, the Man Superstore Studios. This is 100.7 WQQO HD2 Sylvania, Toledo, a Cumulus media station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bank, and we start with news from training camp on the injury front. Panthers rookie wide receiver Chris Brazzell II went down in practice today. As first reported by The Athletic and confirmed by ESPN, Brazzell suffered a moderate LCL tear in his left knee and is expected to be out for 8 weeks. Bengals defensive end Shamar Stewart was carted off the field during practice after suffering a left leg injury. Saints defensive lineman Brian Brzee suffered a knee injury, which is feared to be a torn ACL. Meanwhile, at Bengals camp, Joe Burrow says his foot is healed and he will be ready to go for the season after dealing with injuries last year.
The foot feels great. I'll play with protecting it for the rest of my career just because why not? I don't want it to happen again, but it feels good.
Also, quarterback news, Vegas coach Clint Kubiak says Kirk Cousins will start camp taking reps with the top unit. In baseball, the Marlins were down 6-0. They rallied to beat the Phillies 8-6 to complete a 3-game sweep of their series. First of a day-night doubleheader, the Mets topped the Braves 3-2. Diamondbacks over the Pirates 3-0. Arizona second in the NL wild card.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare. Everybody wants cheap airfare. But where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available.
Call now, toll free, 800-558-5635.
Has a message for you. Collision? You've been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe? If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. That's why you got to call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid. Pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-370-5435.
Device works together. Upgrading to a smart home? Only Vivint offers a fully integrated smart home system. Every device works together seamlessly. Call Vivint now and get free professional installation, $200 off your initial order, and 0% APR financing for up to 60 months. Plus, you can get 24/7 professional monitoring for as little as $1 a day. Upgrade your home to a Vivint smart home. For your free quote, call
800-853-6497.
Team to take on the 89 Mac men in the nightcap. And here's the setup. 6 o'clock window, 83 nights. Okay? Scott Bittinger and the crew. Killed you with that. You didn't know. You weren't ready. You didn't want that like that. Yeah, absolutely. And the 90, Scoot Williams. This one we got going on at 6. So there's no dilly-dally. And we said with the parking,
Well, thought about a few teams, but I think the greatest matchup for that Macumber 1989 team would be a Final Four team from the 80s. The 1984 Scott Bulldogs with Chris Polinitz, Willie Shelton, and Melvin Newbern. Let's get it on.
Black and White Sports. Weekdays from 4 to 6 on 100.7 The Ticket.
Black and White Sports is now.
Trust and believe. It's something totally different. And stop with the Eminem, because Eminem's not one of the best either. And y'all can stop that.
Dre says he's the best on the mic.
Dr. Dre is a Fed. And so is Snoop. We covered this. Everybody fool with Dre and Snoop is dead or was locked up. I don't care what Dr. Dre said.
I'm just reporting.
Dr. Dre was wearing women's shoes before it was fashionable to do it as a guy.
Toledo's sports leader, ESPN 100.7 The Ticket.
I know you're kind of busy just now, but I want to tell you some things I never told you. I know sometimes I act stupid and I say stupid things, but you kept me around, and other people would have said, drop that bum. You give me respect. You know, it's hard for me to say these kind of things because that ain't my way. But if I could just unzip myself and step out and be someone else, I want to be you. You're real hot.
If the papers knew we were talking like this, they'd think we was crazy. Why you?
Because I'm the best and you need somebody to teach you different. You may not understand what I'm talking about now. I can appreciate that, but you will when it's over. Believe me. You will when it's over. You think I don't have any more?
You got nothing more to prove, do you?
Look, man, this is the opportunity of a lifetime.
I got a lot of more. Come on. Here we go again.
And we wish to show the American press a small portion of the advances.
What does all this do to enhance performance?
It makes a man a better man. A great athlete, a super athlete. Though most of the world is ignorant. It's showtime! It's showtime! Come on. You wish to educate your country.
In great spirits tonight. He's really putting on a show for this capacity crowd.
Shall we have a demonstration?
Please do.
As you can see, the result's quite obvious. Whatever he hits, he destroys.
Now you're gonna have to go.
Okay, it's Wednesday. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in once again. However you may be listening, whatever you may be into, we appreciate you making us a part of your situation. It is the fastest buck 20 in sports. We call it Black and White Sports. They call me Andre of the Savages, this guy that you can see on the stream. For those of you who can't see it, we'll address that in a moment. Josh Burnham in the studio alongside as always. Good afternoon to you, sir. It's Black and White Sports underway, my man.
It may be the dog days of summer, but there are big dogs here at the ticket, and we are one of them.
Uh-oh. Never know. Depends on who you ask, brother. All right. Wednesday it is, everyone. The 729 edition. Appreciate everybody popping in. You want to hit us up and say something. Josh has lobbied for this. It's football season. We were told we might need it. 877-909-1007. You want to do something. Text it. Call it. Online. Appreciate you guys listening. MP3 style and so forth, but live activity nonetheless. 1007theticket.com. And of course, we're live on YouTube and Savvy Television. The network, get the app, download it now. No Facebook today, Josh. It's still sinister. I still feel like it's not out of the woods. I feel like we already have to go back into the woods here.
Yeah,
that's all I can say. I don't mind it because in the grand scheme, it doesn't necessarily serve, our interests in that way. But I don't know. It's a public thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of that. It's an adaptation to the public.
Yeah, at this point, Meta is just basically splitting nose hairs. I mean, they're getting really like, what are you flagging us for? I mean, we're not doing anything outrageous.
Well, no, really anything out of the norm. If you think about it, you know what I'm saying? That was a very quick trigger today. So we thought we were starting it, everybody, but we weren't. All right. 100.7 FM. We would be remiss if not talking to the exact focus, and that is you, radio heads, and the stylings belong here. All right. ESPN in the Glass City. Josh, we're going to camp today, obviously. A few things, though, coming out of camp news real quick before we get into it, man. We talked to Impress today here shortly, and, of course, Andy later on in the second hour. Because he's still, Andy, he'll be ready. He's saying for a full slate today, though. He didn't really get to finish yesterday. So, but even though, Josh, I know you're not done with the production, but we do have enough material to share Steve's response, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. As long as we got that, we're in motion. So we'll hold that up for Andy. Everybody who was here yesterday, you heard it right at the end. You heard Steve T. Shout out to the Real Sports Guy. He left some words of wisdom for Andy. Andy didn't like LeBron not showing up, everybody. And on behalf of the 216 contingent, you know, he made his feelings known yesterday, for those of you who were around for that. But yes, a few quick noteworthy items here, Josh. They could fall in the square of ring the bell, but not officially. Right. But I'll take a moment to say we'll acknowledge Mr. Butler, Anthony Butler, the master barber, over at 1248 West Sylvania, 419-407-0880 is how you get there. Get your grooming together. So, keep that in mind as things move forward. All right, but yeah, like I said, a couple of noteworthy mentions. Denzel Ward among them, and an extension. 2 years, $63 million, Josh. 52.3 guaranteed.
That's a nice lot of scratch there.
Well, it's solid. It's not necessarily being hungry. Also, too, Bengals camp. Was that what it is, Josh? We got injury stuff out of your guys. Shamar Stewart, what's happening? He's rolling him out today. Already, it's too early for that. I hate hearing it.
Yeah, leg injury, hyperextendial knee, not looking good for the former first rounder.
Yep, we have unfortunates, early camp unfortunates already here. You know what I mean? So that was good. That's happening in Cincinnati. Also, too, in Cincinnati, we had the first scrap off today. Did you see that, Josh? They were talking about the highlight. They had Jamar Chase. It was the helmet snatch. It started out as Jalen Davis, but I feel like it changed by the time the story resonated later, because I heard otherwise, but I didn't hear any shift on Jamar Chase out there being tussly.
Well, you got some hungry pups out there. They want to go after the big dogs. They want to prove their worth. So I like that type of fight. Keep it up until the regular season begins.
There you go.
Should you make the squad?
Yeah, so some news, Bengals camp going on, a few items. Like I said, camp in general. NFL work has begun. Also, too, today, man, when I don't know if I think I put it on the wall, but it should be, but I'm thinking off the wall when I say it. I appreciate Terrence Crawford's comments. To what, Sam? Clarissa Shields. Somebody needs to be able to say something to Clarissa Shields. Somehow. Because, I understand that you all like watching the train wreck go until it smashes, but I don't. It's not okay. And if she could just somehow not love social media, and I don't think that's reality. That's, so I'm imagining an impossibility, and I don't know how come you can't get a representative in public relations to aid where this young lady is concerned. But Terrence Crawford had a comment that I thought was viable. We could make comments on a lot of other things. She has a fight coming up soon. ATL, shout out. So they get ready to do that thing here. So again, and I don't think any of this is going to calm down until she loses. Not that we really want her to lose. You don't really want anybody to lose, but you guys know how sometimes in life you got to fall back in a way to kind of recalibrate it and look around like, man, we're off kilter. That's the only thing I can see. Other than that, too powerful, too strong-willed, too determined, and definitely chip on the shoulder viable because the abusive upbringing and the fight backness in her. So good luck with getting her to chill. But when the guidance isn't there, the direction is miss. It's unfortunate. But nonetheless, I'll share that later on, like I said, off the wall. Also, too, the ladies in Indiana. Josh, I think you might have heard me mention at some point. The one thing I didn't really like about the Fever this year is a missing component from last year, and quite frankly, the component that had me most excited about what they could or might be, and it's no longer there. And after last night, we are now going to likely see an extreme disruption in the idea that the Fever are one of the favorites as we get set to roll down the WNBA stretch, and they will now be, for the foreseeable future, without the internal presence that is Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah, what I've been hearing about from my end about the Fever is not from the absence of Aaliyah Boston or even Caitlin Clark, but I've been hearing a lot about rumblings about Sophie Cunningham lately.
Okay. What does that have to do with what I'm talking about? Just for curiosity's sake, because it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I'm sorry you didn't hear that she got hurt last night.
Right.
But you didn't hear that. So let me help you hear it. You want to hear that? Aaliyah Boston's hurt. So the actual story is never Sophie Cunningham, first of all. Let me just help you with that too, just for future, protection, Josh. It's for you. You think it's not, but it is. It's for your own good. Everybody hold on real quick. But seriously, never about Sophie Cunningham. So what I was trying to say, and I knew Josh was going to intersect right in there. I seen it coming, right? And so now I have to reroute it and try to help it make sense now. There's a part of the Fever, as I mentioned, thought Josh would pick up on that. Notice he didn't respond to that part at all. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, Josh, you might have heard me mention on the show a time or two about a part that I like, and probably the part that I liked most and excited me the most about the Fever. And he goes, Sophie Cunningham. 877-909-1007. Tell me what the F I'm supposed to do with that. What I was trying to say is Natasha Howard would be that. And I'm going to speak about that in this show today. Also, too, listen, the whole thing with, I'm hearing the wrong commentary, I think, about the Sixer thing. And I really think we're setting ourselves up for embarrassment on the street if you get caught hating too far. And what do I mean? I think we might get caught hating LeBron too far for those that can be accused of it. I certainly have taken, the shots on that one, but I try to keep it strictly to the nonsense that we see on public display. But this last move, as we mentioned yesterday, we don't necessarily feel like it wasn't a good move. It's not going to be a fruitful endeavor. And it's weird, some of the things that I've been hearing. So, again, we're going to come back to that, talk to Monty, talk to these boys. And also, too, before we take off here, yesterday I apologized to you guys. We had 4-0 WNBA last night. And I didn't mention it on the way out. I'm sorry. It was in the plan because I said it yesterday. That was what it was. We were going out. We were trying to get out. You guys know how it can be. You're at the deadline. You're trying to get out. 6 o'clock is here, and you're trying to roll out. And so, my bad. My bad. Yeah, my bad. All we were going to say, let's take all these favorites tonight. Return of the WNBA. It was easy work. And so I have to apologize to you all. I owe you guys a good look. Sorry about that. Josh, remember, I didn't. I said it. As soon as we went off, I said, damn.
Yeah,
I didn't say the picks.
That. Yeah.
And I'm on here trying to let guys get their last, say a sayonara and a sign out, and then it didn't get the picks off.
Yeah, it's like anytime you're trying to wrap up your acceptance speech and the orchestra starts playing louder and louder, you're under the gun.
Right. Yep, under the gun and gunned out and didn't gun it. So my bad, everybody, on that. But, yep, all you had to do last night was take the favorites in the W. Cash out. All right, let's go. Step aside. Here's where the part we would have come into the app anyway, but we are in the app. Download the Savvy Television app. Obviously, you have if you're in here watching us live. So we appreciate you. But if you're getting it on YouTube, of course, Savvy Television there, then, of course, you can still download the app. Make it a point to do that because at some point, we got to jump out of the YouTube space as well. But, all right, it's called Black and White Sports. It is the fastest $1.20 in sports. We do it daily, Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m., and it goes quickly. When we come back, man, we talk to my man Impress. Get in here, shift gears. Sit tight. It's Black and White.
Join Andre of the Savages weekdays 4 to 6 on Black and White Sports. ESPN 100.7 The Ticket. ESPN 100.7 right now, traffic.
Route 20, both directions between Stony Ridge and Oregon Road is closed due to an accident. It looks like at Tracy Road. Also slower than usual traffic 475 westbound between ProMedica and Parkway and Monroe. Other than that, we're clear. If you're seeing anything, we're not. Let us know. That's your Cumulus Toledo right now traffic.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging.
Viagra, $2 a pill, $99 minimum order. Call 800-925-5313.
Maybe you want to keep your legs active while you work, or you wish to support your therapy at home, or you just want to build strength, increase your mobility, flexibility, and boost your circulation. Ellipse was made for you. Power-assisted exercise that frees your mind to enjoy your favorite seated activities. Just plug it in, place your feet, select your speed, and relax. Ellipse does all the work for you. Call now.
800-580-6475.
My God, Becky.
just 12 short months, you can earn your FAA certification as a licensed aircraft maintenance technician that can open the door to thousands of employment opportunities nationwide. And many companies offering immediate employment, sign-on bonuses, travel opportunities, advancements, and more. Ask us about our newly formed partnership with Owens Community College and Purdue University Global. Day and evening classes are forming now, and class sizes are limited. Finance options are available for students and qualified military veterans. Visit us at federalAerospaceInstitute.com or give us a call to schedule your no-obligation tour. FAI, where futures take off.
Black and White Sports.
Do we disagree with that?
A lame is somebody who doesn't have a realistic view of themselves.
My definition of a lame is a man who has not f***ed at least 50 bitches he don't give a f***. You don't even know about a woman until you done f***ed at least 50 of them. Now, some guys are lucky. They get a woman and they are with that woman forever. You beat the game, homie, because that ain't how it normally go.
You're listening to Black and White Sports, where there is no gray.
Oh, I think I got it. I think I know what it is.
What do you think?
I think I understand what's going on.
Oh, you might be onto something.
Yes, I think I'm onto something.
Is it another one of those SBI investigations?
It kind of is, not necessarily. I had to do a figuring, Josh. I had to put into a mental tabulation and to figure out what's going on, sort of deal. And what I'm thinking is, because of what the message said, it was like, this is why we removed the video, right?
Right.
Well, it's saying that we can't share someone else's content. So remember yesterday we put the link to the app to Savvy Television, right, in the comments?
Right.
And we said, we're checking out, we're cutting the Facebook broadcast and we're going there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is just me. This is a hunch. It doesn't mean this is official, but I'm trying to make it make sense based on what I just read. And they're like, you can't do that. So because they would not believe that the average Facebook user would like probably own an app and control the space like that of that type of engine and vehicle. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Meta pulls something like that. I mean, they're being petty about this.
Yeah.
They're not talking about Richard.
Yeah, they don't think they would say, because that's what they were saying. If according to what that said, that doesn't seem like that's you that owns that, and we don't want to take chance on you sharing links to somebody else's copyright. That's what I'm gathering. But okay, there you go.
No sharing for you.
Listen, it's okay. It's all right. Listen. There's a point to this, and it's necessary, and I really can't be upset at it. But all right, back in here, people. It's a Wednesday. Listen, we got a thing going on with Facebook. If you just joined it, you never heard the show before. So that's kind of we picking up. We tried during the break. We in there trying to fiscal and faster. What's going on? Because they didn't let us even get anywhere today. Today is immediate shutdown. Yesterday, we at least got to the 20-minute. Well, we did it ourselves yesterday, though. So somewhere in today, it was like, boom. As soon as it went off, it was like, nah, you're not getting it off. So, all right, there it is. Still feels sinister, though. I still feel like somebody trying to clown, you know what I'm saying, that around here that you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think, because I think more in terms of how people move around here. All right. Back in here, it's Black and White Sports on a Wednesday. We said Whitewash Wednesday. Exactly. I knew we called it that for a reason, Josh. We'll go back in here, okay? As we continue our conversation, man. Appreciate my man waiting in the wings like he does, chilling every time, man. So we'll get him in here, all right? Our edge rusher extraordinaire, Monty Features, was chilling everybody, so we get it going on the wake-up call line. Impressed. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. What's going on, bro?
Hi, Jinx. That's all. If you were hearing us too, I don't know. It was crazy today. It was an immediate, you know what I mean? The blanket is so serious right now. But that was a different note that I hadn't seen. And like I said, I feel like they're saying, because we shared the link to the app yesterday, in the comments, right, or whatever. So I don't know. And I'm like I said, I'm just trying to make it make sense. And that's what it felt like. Because you might say the average person in this position probably wouldn't have a setup like that, and then you're sending it there, and they can say, no, we don't feel comfortable with that, because somebody else would own that, like a company, some other machine, whatever, right? And okay, but anyway, let me get to a few things here today. Like yesterday, man, we had a few conversations and the back and forth about some of the LeBron things. I think it might be time to kind of get into some of these conversations with respect to the NFL. A few things, we shared a couple items out of camp today, but just trying to focus On that, let me do this. I'm gonna start this with you. If I hope I didn't leave my notes, man. Yeah, I got this. All right, because this is the thing we're gonna do. Because we're putting together a something different this year. I haven't done. I might as well share it with the people. A parlay that's pretty lengthy, but it's a season parlay, Monty. We're in the zone of futures right now. Like I said, we want to get into some of these conversations back to the camps, back to the NFLs, and while we can talk preseason talk and things that actually might make sense, instead of trying to figure out how many games people are going to win and all that. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I don't like doing that because that's nonsense to sit up and play with that and just talk like, especially on this level of sports talk. I don't think, that's necessary. So what I'd like to do is try to help the people listening to Black and White Sports on a Wednesday in that we have some noteworthy names here, and I'm going to ask my man Impress his thoughts on whether or not we should say we need to give it a true or false sort of thing, Monty, like like they do fraud or laud, and we need to do it like what can we say? What do we used to say, Josh? We did say foolproof fugazi.
Foolproof
We could do that,
fugazi.
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like we need a new. We're gonna have to do something new. But we haven't done that in a long time. But for all intents and purposes, time's sake, Monty, let's go with that foolproof fugazi. So I'm gonna give you, player and the prop we think, like I said, will cover the season.
Okay.
So think about, is this guy gonna get this off during the season? All right, so we go on Monty features, and we're gonna get everybody on this, Josh. We'll get Ski, we get Andy, but Monty's up first because he's here. He's here first. All right, let's go. Stafford first on my list. And again, everybody, we're setting up a prop bet here that if we put this in now, shoot, we play this daddy for about $5. You might be on a whole new thing. You might be able to change your life, people. So get this down as we go and what we're kind of looking at here. All right, so it's either we're going to get this done or we're not. All right, so Monty features, let's go. Matt Stafford, 4,000 plus pass yards, north of 4K this season.
That's a good one. I'm going to say yeah because it's Matt Stafford. I'm going to tell you my only drawback. My drawback is that I think their defense is going to be so dominant this year that they might not have to pass as much.
Okay, Rams. Okay.
So there'll be a lot of late in-game running. But, Puka Nacua, that connection they have there.
Devontae Adams too, right? He's
right,
still
yeah.
he in the fold too. So then, but yeah, okay. And I know I'm leaving out somebody. It's a young cast, couple guys too. That's intermediate. You know what I mean? That's slot guys and things. They got some other, but they're a problem for sure. And we still don't think is Blake Corum them still on the team, and the other cat and the young boy that starts though. What's my man that start in the Rams? Because the running back situation is kind of cool too. So it's
But again, I think the defense might, it might be some games where they, don't
I get
need to do all that passing. But I'm gonna still say foolproof.
Yeah, we're going for it because this is my play, Josh. Again, because
Yeah.
you're gonna talk me off the ledge or not on.
Oh yeah, they have
Go ahead.
Kyron Williams as RB1.
That's what I was thinking about Williams. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they're both catchers though, but not we don't see Corum as much, and usually that's kind of short yardage stuff, inside red zone things. But again, I think that's a guy that's probably gonna get more touches. So once again, but nonetheless, very viable offensively. 4,000 yards for Matt Stafford is not outlandish, and most people might do that, but it's a little. Like I said, it's leery just because he's a guy you kind of expect.
Right.
But it was a good number on it. That's why I wrote it down. I kept it, but that's why I brought it here. I said, I'm going to talk with these boys and see if they can, readjust my lens a little bit. All right, let's go to St. Brown. St. Brown, 1,250 plus receiving yards.
Yeah, that's foolproof.
Okay.
He's reliable. He's a good reliable. And he's probably the most intricate part of their offense.
Right.
So they'll go as he goes. And I expect them to have a pretty decent year this year. So I'm gonna say that's foolproof.
All right, Monty, going foolproof on that. And you said foolproof too for Stafford. You're gonna go ahead and go to 4K.
Yes.
Okay. Now we both to go. I'm with you. All right. Let's see. Your boy Henry and Baltimore 1,250 on the ground.
Fugazi.
It was quick. It was no debate. That was quick. That was knee jerk, Johnson.
They have not used him right in the last, I say 2 years. So I'm going Fugazi.
if I may add, I think I might go foolproof on north of 1250 because new coaching regime, he might be rejuvenated for one more big Pro Bowl year, so I could see him over 1250.
All right, Josh, hold on, get on in here, Josh. That's fine. You want to jump in? Hold on, Justin, roll back real quick. If you're gonna join it, Justin, you got to speak up.
Yeah,
you can't just wait to the fourth pick in. All right, so are you going with Stafford with the 4,000K? Are you doing that?
Foolproof.
Okay, Josh in for Stafford. All right, St. Brown, 1250.
Foolproof.
Okay, Josh in for St. Brown. All right, and like you said, Derek Henry, you said you were in for it. Monty says hell no, and Josh says you're in. Okay, let's move on. All right, hold on. Let me see. Smith and Jigba, 8+ receiving touchdowns.
Oh, that's foolproof. That's money in the bank right there.
Yeah, that one did kind of. That was a little bit. Like I said, but sometimes I get nervous because I feel like they setting you up. But again, you never know. With these, like I said, I think these, while we're doing this, everybody, we feel like we get more love here. And the season actually becomes a lot more fun, to be honest with you. And I usually don't. And these are better because they're going to pay out a lot more, fructitiously should we hit this sort of thing. And like I said, this is long. We got a few more to go. Where we at here? All right, 4:35. We got a few minutes before we hit this break. Okay. Let me see. Let me jump down to your boy, Jackson Dart. 6+ rushing touchdowns. Just to throw a slat for quarterback work. And they say they don't want to run the football. But they have here 6+ rushing touchdowns. I don't know, Monty. I feel like he'll have that before week 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's foolproof as well.
Yeah, all right, Josh. What are you saying?
Well, previous one, Fugazi on the 8+ touchdowns, but for Dart on the rushing touchdowns, the 6+, Fugazi. It depends on the offensive line if he has one that protects him, if he can stay healthy.
Okay, all right. But yeah, he is going to be, Josh, he's going to move the ball.
I was about to say, he likes to take off, though.
He's going to run, Josh.
Yeah,
if they're in the red zone, too, 10 yards, especially 10 yards or less, that's actually the odds are in his favor. You know what I'm saying? In that situation. Because he's not that brittle, and I don't think he's that silly. You know what I mean? I think they overdo that. I just think, again, the kid plays with a certain moxie necessary, perhaps, to excel in a different way. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like everybody is subject to get cracked. It doesn't really matter to me. You know what I mean? You would almost rather, like they say, you'd rather be delivering the punishment in certain cases instead of being in a defenseless mode, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just think the reality is those plays he's probably going to make. You know what I'm saying? If you put him in a situation to take off, like we said, and you know what I mean, especially to score. Now I don't know about maybe first downs too, to a certain extent. Now that's where it could be a little dicey. I wouldn't want him. Listen, man, you're gonna have to be cool with the first down thing. But you know how the play unfolds. What you gonna do? You look up and see the marker.
And you got to remember, they backfield is not solidified. Scatterbull be coming be back. So yeah, I think they'll trust him a little more with the ball.
And the Notre Dame kid, and I'll give you this because you're gonna have the Notre Dame kid in the mix too, and so it should not be a situation where he's in a lot of harm's way. But I do think in playing the game, because that kid plays instinctual, you just can't ask him to be out there thinking ahead of time, thinking about whether or not to play it cautious. I don't know if that's real. You know what I mean? Just as a sidebar, everybody, but they, that's how they talk, and they think that they can have a conversation that speaks to this is how this guy should do. They're always trying to, how we always have a preventative conversation. And there's nothing you can do but react to things and react to life. Real quick, let me jump back to, I think I forgot somebody. Okay, here it is. Let me go back to Trey McBride, real quick. Receivers, Cardinals, 1,000-yard receiving season. My bad. I meant to say he was up at the top. Let me jump back there. So what you think about that, fellas? Monty, on McBride, 1,000-yard campaign here. And who is at the helm? And
that's what I was trying to think of. Like, who the hell is
Arizona? Now you making me think. Is it Jacoby Brissett?
That's what I hear.
Oh, that's
I'm not taking that. We're going to have to take this off of here. We got to take this right off of here. This ain't it. For real. If I got to rely on that, I don't know. I mean, because we're really worried about Marvin Harrison here.
Yeah.
When is he going to get? I mean, I think he's done incredible for the situation he is in. You gonna ask me about Trey McBride?
Yeah.
That is a bet. That's a bet. That's why it's on there. You see, it's not Marvin Harris is not in there. Like it was a reason, and I saw that. But see, I was looking at everybody, and you guys heard me say this many times. I was looking at the plus 1,000 in it. So that's what we got going on. By the way, Black and White Sports here. We're on this Wednesday. My man Monty Features is here. We're trying to sort through this parlay. We have a preseason hookup. We're trying to get into this, what will pay out for a season's worth of work. All right. And we're trying to determine whether what I got on this paper is foolproof or fugazi. We're trying to play it right before we get to this break. So we're going to step aside here. Let me get one or two more of these in.
Oh, I might want to say McBride 1,000 fugazi.
Okay, my bad, Josh. I didn't even think. I thought you already said it. Okay, yeah, everybody's on deck for that. We're not really going. That's the banana in the tailpipe. I don't know if we want to do none of that. All right, let's go. Puka Nacua, since you brought him up, Monty, a minute ago, we'll do that and then go to the break and finish it when we come back. 8+ receiving touchdowns for him.
Oh, that's foolproof.
All right.
Foolproof.
All right, everybody on board. See, everybody's so quick. And I got it down here. But those are the ones because they seem to make sense, and that's where we got to be careful. But we're going to go ahead and ride with it. All right, we halfway through it. We just putting a parlay together. It's a Whitewash Wednesday, people. Sometimes you got to go ahead and improvise. I thought it would be a good time. So that's what we're doing. Sit tight. We're going to come back and join us. You should be writing this down is what you better be doing. All right, but we live in the app. Appreciate you. All right, and live on the air radio side, 100.7. That's in Lucas County. It's called Black and White Sports. Fast as $1.20. Sit tight. We'll be back.
The ticks are cold. The delivery is savage. Black and White Sports on ESPN 100.7 The Ticket. ESPN 100.7 right now, traffic.
Route 20, both directions between Stony Ridge and Oregon Road is closed due to an accident. It looks like at Tracy Road. Also slower than usual traffic 475 westbound between ProMedica and Parkway and Monroe. Other than that, we're clear. If you're seeing anything we're not, let us know. That's your Cumulus Toledo right now traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now from $699 with exclusive student pricing from $599. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Upgrading to a smart home? Only Vivint offers a fully integrated smart home system. Every device works together seamlessly. Call Vivint now and get free professional installation, $200 off your initial order, and 0% APR financing for up to 60 months. Plus, you can get 24/7 professional monitoring for as little as $1 a day. Upgrade your home to a Vivint smart home. For your free quote, call
800-853-6497.
Melt fast. On the side. Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available.
Call now, toll free, 800-558-5635.
If you've
been
in an accident that wasn't your fault, well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe. If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. That's why you got to call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid. Pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-370-5435.
my all-star.
I had the game-winning hit.
Careful, buddy.
Sorry, Dad.
Accidents can steal life's biggest moments. At KNR, we help you move forward and hold on to what matters most. When you're hurt in a car, you call KNR.
Black and white sports.
Say, man, I'm the type of nigga, I shred up our whole history if you play with me, nigga. Fuck that weak-ass, bitch-ass fun that you think we had, nigga. Play with me. Play with me. Play with me in any type of shape, form, or fashion, nigga. Fuck the past, whatever we used to do, fuck how much we kicked it, fuck how much, you know what I'm saying, you felt like we was gonna be partners forever. No, your bitch-ass fucked the situation up, and I can't fuck with you no more. Game for sale.
You're listening to Black and White Sports, where there is no gray.
All right, let's pop back in here. We're trying to put together some preseason parlay. It's going to be a lot of this. Black and White Sports, we're back in it. Streaming live in the app, Savvy Television Network. Welcome back. Josh, how did that happen?
I don't
That was
know.
crazy. Did you hit that?
No, I didn't.
Back in. Okay, we're back in here. Monty Features is here. Josh Burnham is here trying to hold the thing together. Facebook said, nope, we couldn't do it. So if anybody was looking for it on there, sorry, we're going to try to close that down. I have another strategy, though. Don't worry about it. We should be here anyway. You could be live on YouTube as well. So shout out Hightower, Finney. Saw you boys there as well. And Rick K. Jones, wherever they might be, because these boys, I think they've been rocking on the radio as of late. Also, too, we are brought to you by my friends at the Bassett Nut Company, formerly Rachel Michaels Gourmet Popcorn. Please let us not forget that. We would be remiss, okay? Over on Monroe Street, right next door to the Verizon store, but the sign is up now. So you can't miss that. So just shoot up Monroe Street on your way down there, down by My Way and all of that. If you're heading out to Flower Hospital, you guys can find her. But not really about less than 2 blocks up Monroe, though. So be careful. If you're going too far, you get down there by that light in the ProMedica situation, you're way out of the frame. So keep that in mind. Keep her in mind. Significant investments with that. So community support is appreciated. Also, too, until really, I guess, tomorrow or Friday? What is the first? The first is Saturday. So, yeah, Friday's the last day of 17.76% at Mama Mary's Pizza. So keep that in mind, too. Frank told me to extend that so everybody knows that, all right? As we continue. All right, let's get back to it, Josh. Let's go. Monty, let's go. All right, here we go. Couple more people. So now as we came down, what do we have so far? We got let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 8, fellas. We 8 slots into this thing. So here we go. Like I told you, this is a long situation, people. We're really trying to really upgrade your season excitement with this. So this is a parlay, and we are trying to determine foolproof or fugazi if we should keep this on the ticket as is. All right. Season stats or outcomes here. Next up, let's see. We left off. Who did we leave off of? Was Puka Nakua? I think we went out on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, bam. All right. Speaking of that, since we'll stay with the Rams here for a second, the Rams, excuse me. Dang it. The Lions, my bad. Jared Goff, I'm tripping out. 30 plus passing touchdowns.
30 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, that's. I looked at that too. I was like, damn, for real. But there's a hell of a number on that.
I'm gonna say Fugazi, even though I think the Lions gonna have a good year. 30,
I do too.
30 is a lot.
I think they are too. I think the Lions are, I think they're sleepy because the people are not talking. There's nothing has been said. Nobody can, you know what I mean? I feel like Jahmyr Gibbs might go nuts and clown because they probably, the talk was, can he be the catalyst for the situation and all the rest of that? So I don't know. We did say, 30. We said St. Brown. We like St. Brown with the 1250. So we gotta be
that's
moving.
Yards though.
I know, but we gotta be putting the
touchdowns.
ball. We gotta be rocking. Hold on, let me see if what FanDuel is saying. Because some of this like DraftKings, it's a mixture. Everybody where we getting this? Let me see. I just want to see what they say.
Yeah, I'm going Fugazi on the 30 touchdowns. I mean, Gibbs will have a good year running the ball,
right?
And they're not going to rely on Goff throwing the ball a lot and such.
Hey, fellas, it's really real. Even FanDuel gave you. They said over under, on these plays 29.5. So that's that. But listen, okay, Monty, before you scratch up and frown up, this is what I'm trying to tell you boys. When they put this stuff down, though, it's still not supposed to be seen as outlandish. True indeed, the odds makers can err. Yes, but it's rare. That's one thing you will learn. You lose enough money, get your damn ass, you get smacked around enough. I didn't watch that. I didn't say I got myself out of there. I ain't even want to. So a lot of bad that could have went. So no, but you can get smacked up if you try to get too disrespectful with these odds makers, Monty. So what I'm saying that to say, if they put that number there as a median for whatever, that might mean this boy might be explosive. If we look up and the Lions come out and Jared Goff is acting crazy, remember this day we looked at, do we think is foolproof or fugazi? Jared Goff at 30 plus touchdowns this year.
You know, that's about 2 touchdowns a game. I don't know, man. I'm still going for
explosive. Again, we don't know. Again, so that's the look. So there's the inference. So this is what I would say, Monty. Use this. This is part of how you start putting your thing together. That's why you have to look around and don't just look at maybe the game you want to bet. Look at the player you're trying to bet. There's other information sometimes that can lead you into the right direction, so to speak. So at least you know to look at. If you don't believe it, then you bet against it.
Right, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So you have a mark, either way. But just know they laid that number, 29.5, everybody. Do you think Jared Goff is going to throw for 30 plus, north of 30 touchdowns this year? Hit us up, text it, 877-909-1007. All right, we continue, okay, in this first hour, chilling with my man Monty Features like we like to do. The first hour is Black and White Sports. It's a Whitewash Wednesday. Okay, let's go back to Cincinnati. Now, Jamar Chase, Josh Burton, 12-50. Oh, by the way, did you say, hold on, Josh, did you get a Jared Goff, 30 plus? You said no, too. You said, all right, Fugazi for Josh, too. Okay. All right, Monty and Josh said F that. All right, Jamar Chase, 1250, north of 1250 also in the receiving, just like St. Brown.
I'll say foolproof because whether it's Joe Burrow throwing the base throwing or Joe Flacco throwing, the Jamar Chase is going to get his 1250 plus no matter what.
I know you hate to say it, Steeler, man. I know.
No,
some of that's going to come at your expense.
No, it don't have nothing to do with the Steelers. My only problem with them is I don't know if they've improved their offensive line enough, but I'm gonna still say foolproof.
You kind of have to, though. You know what I'm saying? Because Joe Burrow got a chip on his shoulder this year that I think is different than any of these years since he came in. Even with the Joe Cool that got us to the Super Bowl, all this other stuff. I think because of the questions, because of the constant criticism with respect to the availability and the idea that he might not be one of the league's best to offer, and the fact that Cincinnati feels like there's reason to be excited for whatever reason. We seem to not be necessarily seeing it, and we shouldn't, but all this excitement about their potential. I'm interested. I'm very curious how they come out. I can't wait to look at week one, situations and how they actually are forecast, I should say. I can't wait some of this, because of what we're looking at now. All right, so we're working on a parlay, people. First hour, and Monty and Josh say Jamar Chase, myself, 1250 north of that. That's probably a reasonable expectation, but tricky. I would almost say more like 14 if you ask me when you start to talk about him. Here we go. Jalen Hurts now, because another question mark situation. What's it going to look like? His, what is this, 4th or 5th coordinator, Monty, in as many years or what have you. He's doing this every year. I don't think he gets enough credit for that, being able to adapt. But this should be an easy stat for him, and he's usually reliable on prop bets, everybody. He will get in the end zone when need be. 6+ rushing touchdowns for Jalen Hurts almost feels like we're being set up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it feel like he's getting that. That's too that number's low. So what's the deal there? That's what I say to myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's foolproof as well, though.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna differ and say Fugazi. Just have that feeling. I don't have any scientific evidence to back
right.
up, but part of me it says they'll probably get 5 max, but that's it.
I'm not seeing, and that's mine. That's not a crazy thing to say because that's how they get us. They like, oh, you see that on the paper or you see it in the app, and you're like, damn, you jump at that. Like, hell yeah, because he's always, whatever the push and all that. So, but you just never know. It may be a heavy Saquon dosage when we get on goal lines. Maybe a few less of those opportunities. They don't take them. Maybe they don't go to that play. as much. Who knows? But those were a lot of the scores that he gets. He gets you the occasional scamper. He'll get you that, but you don't see, we can honestly say we don't see that. You'd have to see that at least about 4 times a year or so to believe that you could count on 6. So you never know. But, that's a tricky one there. I have a little concern about that one. I think, let me see if I got it. Oh, hold on. Couple more. Got these Bears here too. Don't want to add it, but Caleb Williams, guys, 3,500 plus. Because we said 4K for Stafford. Caleb Williams, is that a jump? Is that an ascension? Are we on the rise? Is he getting better if we do 35 plus?
I'm saying foolproof. Not only that, but he'll be the first 4,000-yard passer for the Bears in franchise history this season. Bound to break out.
Ski would like to hear that, Josh. Okay, impress you. Hey,
I'm gonna say I wish he'd take the fingernail polish off, but I'm still give him 3,500.
Okay, not mad at that. Yeah, I'm trying not to have to hate on him, but again, the Bears might, they might make it interesting. With that said, let's go to our man Swift too. Considering them, his rushing touchdowns 6+ for your man DeAndre Swift. Go ahead, Josh, you can go.
Oh yeah, I'll go foolproof. He's due 6+. I gotta get the offense from where you get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I say that's foolproof as well. I think they made some improvements too, to the offense that'll help him out. So yeah, I'm gonna say that's foolproof.
Okay, and I think last but not least, gentlemen, I think we got everybody. And last but not least, our man Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis Colts, 12+ touchdowns on ground, ladies and gentlemen.
Foolproof, because if Daniel Jones still has injury problems whenever he comes back, and whoever's quarterback, Taylor's your offense. He's going to get his 12+ touchdowns regardless.
I'm gonna go Fugazi, because I think that especially if Jones come back, I think they're going to be heavily dependent on him. He's going to be a bigger part of the offense, and so I think they're going to switch to a more passing attack. So I'm gonna say Fugazi.
All right, we got a little split there, and like I said, I got it down on it's a nice number on the play. I like what Josh said too, because I think he's right though. I mean, because he was kind of rocking, he was going off. And maybe it's the thing where they at least in the first part of the year, maybe the front end of things, to keep Jones from having to do a lot, you know what I mean, in the effort maybe to keep him safe, things like that. I don't know, but he was rolling. He kind of was the bright spot in any spots they had last year. So but I don't know. That's high though. 12 seems, when you look at 12 and you look at 6 for some of these other people,
right?
But we got quarterbacks and stuff on the list, so it is what it is. All right, there you go, people. A little twist today. You guys didn't expect it, I know, but that's some work we had to get done. I hope you guys wrote it down and look at it. You never know. We should all be celebrating at season's end. Let me see a couple more notes, because we really didn't ring the bell. Shout out to Anthony Butler, the master barber. It is a Wednesday. You guys can get over there and see him. 1248 West Sylvania. Give him a call, 419-407-0880. And in doing that, last night, let's see a few mentions. Tigers go completely nuts with the 14-0. And you had Cleveland with the double last night, Cleveland and Cincinnati. So we had an Ohio work going on, Cleveland 6-5. And I think we said that on the air yesterday. And then in the nightcap, 2-0. So there you have it. And I don't know anything else, Josh, in the Hens or anything else.
Oh yeah, the Hens lost to Columbus by the count of, let me look real quick. It is 6-4 to Columbus in the opener in the 6-1-4.
Bam. All right, there we go. Sorry. All right, we'll come back in here, Monty. Anything, man, you want to throw in before we jump out on this Wednesday? Like I said, there wasn't a lot going on. And by the way, too, Tigers, Orioles, my fault. I didn't even say it. I I just said 14-0, but that's Josh's team. They're not really worth mentioning anyway, because the Orioles is horrible.
Well, you can mention this because I guess got this final in. They played today, 12 innings. O's win 10-9 after being down 7-0.
Of course. Damn, Detroit. See that right there? Trey Skubal with this nonsense. We have 7-0, and they got to have every damn game, period. All right, man. Impressed. Like I said, anything you want to throw in before we roll out of here?
Nope. Movie night tomorrow, Pine Glen Park. Ought to be a good showing.
What's the film?
Zootopia 2.
Okay, there you go. See, fun for the children, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
get
sir.
out there, all right. And there you go with that. All right, first hour. Press, appreciate you, brother. All right, we'll get
Thank
back
you.
at it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Josh Burnham, thank you. Hour number 1 complete. Thank you guys for rocking with us in the app and on YouTube, wherever you might be doing it. 100.7 on the FM side, where the radio is concerned. It's ESPN around here locally, and we certainly appreciate you. We just have a tendency not to act like it. We will be back at 5:05. We expect appropriate attendance on this. So we'll get off the wall, get to my Terrence Crawford comments, man, on Clarissa Shields and this Layla Ali thing. And I think it might be needed just for the general audience, because I think our minds and the way we kind of operate perspective is certainly askew. And ladies, WNBA, fever. No Boston, no bag. And I have to follow up on that too. Sit tight.
His Store and More, the Man Superstore Studios. This is 100.7 WQQO HD2 Sylvania, Toledo, a Cumulus media station.
Maybe you want to keep your legs active while you work, or you wish to support your therapy at home, or you just want to build strength, increase your mobility, flexibility, and boost your circulation. Ellipse was made for you. Power-assisted exercise that frees your mind to enjoy your favorite seated activities. Just plug it in, place your feet, select your speed, and relax. Ellipse does all the work for you. Call now.
800-580-6475.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging.
Viagra, $2 a pill. $99 minimum order. Call 800-925-5313.
Paid for by Action Man.
Arise. If you're looking for an exciting technical career that can offer exceptional wages and job security at a fraction of the cost of a 4-year college program, then consider the Federal Aerospace Institute, an FAA-certified aircraft maintenance technician school located at the Eugene F. Krantz Toledo Express Airport. FAI will prepare you for a new and rewarding career path in the aerospace industry. In just 12 short months, you can earn your FAA certification as a licensed aircraft maintenance technician that can open the door to thousands of employment opportunities nationwide, and many companies offering immediate immediate employment, sign-on bonuses, travel opportunities, advancements, and more. Ask us about our newly formed partnership with Owens Community College and Purdue University Global. Day and evening classes are forming now, and class sizes are limited. Finance options are available for students and qualified military veterans. Visit us at federalarospace.institute.com or give us a call to schedule your no-obligation tour. FAI, where futures take off.
Welcome back to Black and White Sports with Sav Sinclair.
Good afternoon. My name is Montgomery Blair Sibley. I'm the attorney for Sinclair. First, the National Press Club rents space. They do not condone or endorse the views of the people who rent the space. And as a result, he's allowed to get up and say what he wants to say. Mr. Sinclair is going to make a brief statement. You will be provided copies of that statement once he's done. And after that statement, he will entertain any reasonable questions and try to answer them. The procedure for doing that will be this microphone, because we're being recorded and we want to make sure your questions are recorded so that we get a full question and answer for the video that's being made today. That said, Mr. Sinclair.
You're listening to Black and White Sports, where there is no gray.
Hour number 2 is in motion. However you may be listening, whatever you may be into, we certainly appreciate you making us a part of your situation. I am Andre of the Savages. Thank you, guys. You can hit us up. That's universal knowledge, I think. 877-909-1007 is how you get in touch with it. Josh is here. Shout out to Monty. He just rolled out. He was in here today. You missed it. Thank you for your assistance and press. We got the notes. I'm going to go back and confer, because you and Josh, we had some discrepancy in there. Everyone didn't agree with my parlay projections, people. So we gave some hefty stat line possibilities for some noteworthy cast members of the up-and-coming NFL motion picture. I think we can hit this, though, Josh. I think when I get through, when we sift it, look at it, because you made some good points, though. When you said you and Monty were in alignment for most of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm looking for, it'd be cool if we could get a universal consensus, but had we, I'll be honest, I'd be concerned. You know what I mean? Because if everybody thought the same thing, then I don't like it. That's where it's a nervy
Smells
nerve.
of collusion.
Yeah, I don't know. But again, some of this, like I said, that Jalen Hurts, 6 touchdowns, that smells funky, because that should be easy. You think to yourself, of course, Jalen Hurts is going to cross the goal line 6 times on the ground this year. Remember, people, these were parlays for the season, because we got stuff like Stafford, will he throw for 4K or whatever? You might say to yourself again, of course he is. Not necessarily. And I think Monty made a good point when he said that. Then Josh, there was one of these I thought was very pointed. It'll come back to me, but you really gave me cause for pause.
Yeah, and speaking of Hurts, I mean, I think the whole Eagles team, because you mentioned 5 or 6 different coordinators this season, offensive wise, I think the Eagles are due for like a downturn, disappointment this year.
Well, I meant, let me be correct too, so we don't misunderstand. No, I just meant Jalen Hurts though. The offensive coordinator has been constantly on a revolving door though for him. Yeah. And he gets a lot of criticism. I only bring it up because they're always clamoring about something and how many people don't think he is really that guy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So he gets a lot of that.
But I think that all these different coordinators each season is going to take a toll on him. And
yes, that would, and it would have to. I don't understand how the conversation is like that about him, and we don't insert those items into the discussion. But nonetheless, I'd say that sort of speaks to the case and why maybe we should trust him more because of that ability to adjust on that level. All right, but yeah, we had a parlay, people. That was what was going on in hour number 1. But with this one, because it's a whitewashy Wednesday. It's weird. I did mention a couple news items, though, early on. We didn't necessarily ring the bell today, but Denzel Ward, Browns man, all right, secondary upgrade here, or at least in the payment department. So, hopefully the production continues, but 2-year extension at $63 million there, 52.3 of that is guaranteed. So shout out Denzel Ward, news from Browns camp. And then, of course, Bengals camp. We talked about Shamar Stewart, carted off today. What else did we say, Josh? Did we say something? Oh, and Jamar Chase, too, out there acting a damn fool.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
too.
he got into a little scuffle
Yeah.
with a young pup trying to make the squad.
Mess around, get your damn finger broke, grabbing a face mask, tripping.
Yeah, maybe it's probably one of those training camp hazing rituals for rookies. Like, you want to prove your worth? Go after so and so.
No, Josh, it's because Jamar Chase, and it's not noted, we don't talk about it enough. He's a damn hothead. He's tripping a lot. Like, that's the truth of the matter. Listen, he is typically on high strung. And I don't mind it. You know what I mean? I love an aggressive receiver that's dominant and assertive in terms of attack points and so on and so forth. Never mad at that style of how you play. But I'm wondering, when is Jamar Chase ever turning off that, you know what I mean, I want to tussle and bustle thing. He does. Let's go.
Frustration of not making the playoffs the last 3 years. It's going to boil over, and he's got to, well,
Josh, but let me ask you though, before we get, because let's get Andy in here. But listen, do you know what I'm talking about though? He's always like, he initiates sometimes, disturbance that doesn't need to be involved in this moment. It could be whatever type of moment, but his approach.
Yeah, he's quite colorful. I could say that. Yeah, he's
that's a good way to say. Yeah, I'll go with that. All right. All calls gets brought to you by. Time to get back on this wake-up call line around here. Andy Sanzado, ladies and gentlemen, our 216 boots on the ground. I believe he's he's in the car too. He's back in the traffic jam phone lines today. So we appreciate him popping in, doing what he does. Sandman, what's going on? Good afternoon.
Afternoon. How are you guys today?
What's that? Hold on. I had a little break. Say that one more time. I don't know if it's my headphones or what, Josh. I had some sort of cracking.
No, I said, welcome, and how are you guys doing today?
Oh, well, thank you.
We're
brother.
fine.
Yeah, a little better every day. Appreciate you. So listen, we have some I don't know what we call it. Josh, should we call it a gift? I mean, it's like somebody left it. What did we say? It's like they left a layaway for Andy. How would we describe left it for him?
It's kind of like, let's just say that Santa Claus made an early Christmas delivery in July, and he heard you, and he had this to respond for the following.
Okay, well, there's a nice comment. Okay, there, like what Josh said, Andy. So check this out. Yesterday, we know you had to run. You had to get out quick. And you left us with a nice little barn burner on the way out, but you didn't get all of the feedback. So here, allow us to present a retort of sorts. Your man, Steve T, left you something for your appearance today.
The chance to get Andy like I used to when we were on the show together.
Yeah.
But man, just to kind of fold the clothes on that last segment.
Yeah.
Like, Cleveland fans, quit trying to kick the football, Charlie Brown, when you know Lucy's going to move it. Like, why do you fall for the banana in the tailpipe? I don't understand. And then you should clip this, Josh, and play it for Andy. Why would LeBron, say it out loud, why would LeBron come back when you've got, A, the Harden factor, then Andy brings up Mobley and Allen. You put Mobley and Allen with LeBron, they're just going to get in each other's way. And then the kicker is the coach who said they were down 3-0 in the series. He said, but analytically, we're winning this thing. Do you really think LeBron James is going to sign up for that?
Yeah, there you go. And there it is. Andy? Andy?
Listen, like I said, it had nothing to do with basketball. It had everything to do with what the city of Cleveland has been through in the history of its sports franchises. Now, if he really cared about this city, he wouldn't have put them in that position. That's what I was talking about. I knew it didn't make sense for him to come back. I just thought maybe he would not think about basketball and would think about his hometown for once. Boy, was I wrong, obviously. So, But listen, Steve is absolutely right. It doesn't make sense from a basketball standpoint. I hate the fact that Atkinson's still the coach, so I can only imagine LeBron not wanting to play for him. I get all that. But my point yesterday, Sam, was strictly around, if you don't live in this city, you don't get it. Period. End of story. That's all I was trying to articulate yesterday.
Yes, sir. No, I got you, brother. Andy Sands out on the line, everybody. 216 in the building. He's passionate on it. And the Cleveland contingent, to a large extent, of course, disappointed, you might imagine. And Andy articulates it in a way that says, he feels like it was relatively inconsiderate, too. And LeBron just absorbing everybody in that. And but I think, Andy, I did, and this is me right here. Let me give a publisher's clearance to Kendrick Perkins on suggesting that LeBron might have perhaps gave us some of the delay, hoping that Cleveland was going to make some sort of move, Andy, that would have maybe recalibrated his perspective. And watch this. The only reason I sort of want to regurgitate that here is because that was my thing. You weren't getting LeBron if James Harden was on this roster. Something needed to happen where you might have moved him and maybe Mobley or Allen, but I say you can't get rid of both of them, but one of them, I almost feel like even at this juncture, which will sound crazy now because Cleveland has nowhere to go. What are they going to do? What type of season are they going to have running that back? But one of those guys, it seems, has to go. And I would myself, since the world of NBA and the basketball contingent seem to always sort of fancy on Mobley, then I'm moving him because I don't think you move Allen. I just think on his worst night, we can always count on Allen to sustain his identity more so than what I get from Mobley. Mobley is a constant Jekyll and Hyde, and I still think that speaks to a lot of the deficiency and why the Cavs can't really lock in. And like I said, Harden doesn't help because he was just horribly inefficient, and the Cavs don't need any player who is not productive and not a constant plus guy every night. Cavs can't stand it. They don't have that kind of space.
No, the thing about Mobley, Sam, is they signed into a 4-year max contract. Who's going to take on that contract?
Yeah,
that's why you can't move Mobley.
I get it.
That's the problem. And they did the same thing with Mitchell. They gave him a max deal. So now you can't move him either. Not that they were thinking about moving him, but they just continue to make the wrong decisions, and that's why LeBron didn't come back. I get all that, trust me. But all I'm going to say is, in closing the book on the whole LeBron to Cleveland thing, if you call this city your home, and you grew up in this city, then you know everything that this city has been through and then some. And you continue to add to that, then stop calling it home. Because nobody in their right mind would do that to their hometown on purpose. And I feel like he just toys with Cleveland because he's from Cleveland. He can get away with it. And people are going to forgive him and remember the championship in 2016. And without him, we don't get that. That's a bunch of crap. Without Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, they don't get that. It wasn't LeBron that delivered that ring. It was those other two. And that's the reason he came back to Cleveland, was because he saw that a super team could be here.
Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily, Andy, I'm not upset at you, man, and I do appreciate that little twist on it. You know what I mean? Because it's what you said there, Andy, that addition to just more press and attention, if you will, that certainly doesn't go along with anything in the healing department. And like you said, if you cared about any of that. And I think that's what ends up happening. We don't necessarily want to talk about it that way because that's less romantic. But I think you could certainly be on to something if it were actually true and it were actually a vibe that the man really possessed. It might be in the conversation. It's only a bit of a stretch because today's social culture says that it's always going to be brass tacks. But yeah, somebody. You can throw it at him, Andy, because he always has the power to decide everything. So that's why you may look at that when he actually can decide. It might not be applicable for different athletes in different situations, but LeBron James certainly could have considered saying, I'm not going to drum any of this up in Cleveland because I know I'm not doing that under any circumstances, and we just want to leave everything to let these guys figure out how to build a team without considering me joining it. You know what I mean? And maybe you do that. I don't know. And you know what I mean, that's a tough one, but I get your angle. I get the angle on that.
Yeah, no. And the other thing I'll say, and I know we got to go to break, but the other thing I'll say is this is why the city of Cleveland wants the Cavs to win a title so badly. It's because if they can win a championship without him, then the one that he won isn't that big of a deal anymore for this city. Then they can prove that they didn't need him and that it was Kyrie and Kevin Love. And that's what the city of Cleveland wants to do to repay him for how he's treated us and throughout the years when it comes to these decisions. And you know, like I said yesterday, walking us up to the altar and then leaving when it's time for the priest to come down the aisle.
There you go. Lucy with the football snatch. Andy and the contingent in Cleveland don't appreciate it. More considerate love would have been better. We'll come back, man. It's black and white. We got some other things to do. And I got to get to this Terrence Crawford, man. These comments for Clarissa Seals should be valuable. And I still think they went into the air and up in smoke. And it's unfortunate. But sit tight.
When the game ends, the real talk begins. Black and white sports with Andre of the Savages. ESPN 100.7 The Ticket.
Are you still injecting GLP-1 medications every month? Paying hundreds, sometimes thousands, just to hold on to your weight loss? Here's the reality. Stop the drug. Stop the results. This is Dr. Justin with Toledo Weight Loss Secret. We don't believe in short-term weight loss. We offer a doctor-supervised, sustainable program designed to help you lose weight without lifelong medications or never-ending refills. No injections, no monthly refills, no staying on a drug forever just to keep the scale down. If you're done paying for temporary results, it's time for a real alternative. Visit Toledo Weight Loss Secret today to schedule your free consultation.
It's Lynn Casey, and thanks to this program, I've lost weight, regained energy, and restored my confidence. Crazy what an extra 20 or more pounds can do. Even more amazing, what this program can do to help you lose that extra weight quickly and permanently. Up to a pound of fat gone a day. And right now, with $200 off the program, schedule your free consultation at ToledoWeightLossSecret.com. ToledoWeightLossSecret.com.
Upgrading to a smart home? Only Vivint offers a fully integrated smart home system. Every device works together seamlessly. Call Vivint now and get free professional installation, $200 off your initial order, and 0% APR financing for up to 60 months. Plus, you can get 24/7 professional monitoring for as little as $1 a day. Upgrade your home to a Vivint smart home. For your free quote, call
800-853-6497.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available.
Call now, toll free, 800-558-5635.
Maybe you want to keep your legs active while you work, or you wish to support your therapy at home, or you just want to build strength, increase your mobility, flexibility, and boost your circulation. Ellipse was made for you. Power-assisted exercise that frees your mind to enjoy your favorite seated activities. Just plug it in, place your feet, select your speed, and relax. Ellipse does all the work for you. Call now.
800-580-6475.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe. If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. That's why you got to call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid. Pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-370-5435.
He wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available.
Call now, toll free, 800-558-5635.
This is Black and White Sports on 100.7 The Ticket.
All right, let's rock and roll as we get set to cross the bottom of the hour. 100.7 FM, that's ESPN here in the Glass City. I am Andre of the Savages. Josh Burnham alongside the studio as always, coming to you live from the Cumulus Media Campus here in the south portion of the town. Thank you guys for being in here. 877-909-1007 is how you get in on it. If you want to say something to us, text us, call us, all the rest of that. Andy Sanzata is still here. He's on the phone lines calling us from the traffic jam in the 216 as we sit in hours here in the 419, or however you may be traveling home. Hopefully your work day was great. Relax, get home, get something to eat, and get focused on what is next, which should be some family time or whatever, right? Fall back. So we come back. Andy, real quick thoughts on the you good with the Denzel Ward extension?
Yeah. Cornerbacks are hard to find. He's been a great fit for the organization as a whole. He's a pillar in the community. I have a feeling he's going to retire as a Brown. He's earned it. He's earned it.
Yeah.
He's been to, I think it's 5 Pro Bowls, maybe even more than that. When he's healthy, Sav, he's a shutdown corner. The problem is keeping him healthy.
Okay. There you go. Andy on board. Fan base on board with the Denzel Ward today. We threw that at you guys. A couple of little small items from out of camps today. How about this? Anything for us, Andy? What's the word? How's it looking? Quarterback talk. I keep hearing good things about Shador, even though I understand we're a long way away from deciding, who gets the helm, all the rest of that. But thus far, it's feeling like we're still in a good position to go into the young lane in terms of the future. But, like I said, it's not necessarily bad words on Watson either.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, I think competition breeds success, right? And, when you have to compete for your job, you tend to focus a little harder. You study your playbook a little bit more.
Yeah.
You hit the film room even harder. And then you go out and execute in practice and in camp. And I think both of those guys are doing that because they're pushing each other. And I have a feeling both of them are going to get a lot of playing time in the preseason to help Todd Monken determine who his starting quarterback is going to be. And I'm excited about that. I really think if they can find the right guys with the schedule they have, they can win 8 or 9 games this year. I truly believe that.
No, I got you, brother. Talking to Andy Sanzata here. He's in Cleveland, so we always try to keep a pulse on things. Let me ask you this, though, in all honesty, you who do you like there? And I feel like you'll tell me I can deal with either Sav. I'm fine because what I've been dealing with is rough. But if I have to give, Andy Sanzata, you the quarterback coach, you got to do something, though, because we can't have 2 people in the game at the same time. So what are your thoughts as obviously it's early, but again, what do you really hope to see on opening Sunday?
I hope I see the Deshaun Watson they traded for 4 years ago. That's what I want to see. Because if that guy's healthy and that guy's ready to play football, this team's going to surprise a lot of people.
Josh, what you think about that? You heard that. That was strong, too. Andy meant it. There was that conviction in it.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to take on Watson and his baggage?
Well, it's doing what you got to do, Josh. But, hey, the people love second chances. Watson has pretty much kept his nose clean in terms of what could be said about him. So, for whatever that's worth and people's, opinions on him, but right now seems to be, in the proper position and one hell of an opportunity to rewrite all that. But I guess I'm in the Shador camp. I'd like to see what the young dog can be, but at the same time, hey man, Browns, you spent that money. Got to keep trying to get something out of that.
Well, maybe the Cardinals are so desperate for a quarterback if Brissett's not the answer, Watson could go there, or another wild card. If the Cowboys need a backup for Dak Prescott, he could go there.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a little from the outlandish frame, but nonetheless, I don't know if I'd necessarily, scoff at it if that was somehow a reality, but I don't know. Nonetheless, we're in Cleveland. The battle is real, okay? And somebody has to get the control. So it will be one of the more intriguing stories, certainly throughout all of it. Just like it's always interesting stories at the site of an accident or something, certainly where you are uncertain about what's going to happen next and how are you going to handle things, especially when it has a financial tag. Well, what you have to do, I think, or perhaps you should, is get in touch with my people at Allied Bulldog Attorneys. Oh, yeah. Legal Marketing Service Consortium, people. Yep. Connecting accident victims with local injury lawyers. All right. Rather than being a standalone. Did you get that, Josh?
Standalone.
I'm messing with Josh today, people. We've had an interesting day here. If you were here at the beginning, it's been real. All right. Just like the fact that I think I see his legs moving underneath the desk, and he did not tell me that he had an ellipse, people, because we knew Josh was feeling stiff, swollen, tired from sitting all day. He sits a lot. So it looks like his blood will be flowing again because he decided to tackle the experience of the ellipse leg size product that's on fire around the nation.
Yeah, I'm
The
trying to get a
ellipse is
leg
crazy.
up on the competition.
There you go. Absolutely. All right, people, the ellipse, an advanced motorized seated exerciser designed to boost leg circulation, as we said, loosen stiff joints, and reduce swelling completely impact-free. It's a continuous power-assisted motion. It does the work for you, all right? Activating the muscles while you watch TV, read, work at your desk, etc. Say goodbye to leg cramps and restless nights. Reclaim your mobility and step toward better health today. Call now to order your Ellipse. 800-580-6475. All right, Andy, listen. Let me get to this too. All right, and this is the part I know you love, the proverbial WNBA segment featuring Andy Sanzada, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Leggings. All right, but look, no, seriously, man, and I have a serious thing that has come to fruition here. I'm going to probably have to wait about 2 or 3 games to really come in and kind of boast on my take. But I never liked the idea that Natasha Howard did not play for the Fever anymore. I didn't like that news coming into this season. And Andy, I felt it would rear its ugly head sooner. But now, after the unfolding events of last night, and now what will probably be at least a temporary absence from Miss Aaliyah Boston. And I'm telling you, people, is as much momentum as it looks like the Fever is having, because they certainly are very, very efficient and certainly nice to look at when it comes to the offense. But defensively, it's already been a struggle, certainly in the interior. And when you start talking about the possibility of time without Boston, that always certainly means no bag, because Caitlin Clark is an in and out we can certainly deal with. We've seen it. We have adjustments and we have remedies for that. Aaliyah Boston, we do not. We used to, and there's where my point comes in. And without Natasha Howard, Andy, it's already, like I said, deficient on the interior, and that's with Boston when they've played well. That is an identifiable struggle. And now she'll be gone. Don't really get comfortable betting with the Fever moving forward. You've won some money so far. You might want to be careful moving on. Hopefully it's a short stay on the sidelines.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be difficult for them to navigate her injury. I just never understood in the first place that why they traded or didn't re-sign, whatever happened.
Yeah.
With Howard. I thought she was a great fit. I thought if Caitlin Clark had stayed healthy last year, the Fever could have made a lot of noise come playoff time with that team. But it just wasn't meant to be. So wherever she's at now, I'm sure she's having success, and that team's probably one of the favorites to win it all.
Oh, well, let me go ahead and assure you that you were absolutely 1,000% correct, because she is really the difference maker in the links. As much as again, Olivia Miles, and that's my case. I already made it. I told you guys about that, and it's actually moving faster than I said. I gave her 2 years, maybe 3, and she get to go ahead and get the championship as a rookie. But we're gonna set that aside. Why is Natasha the difference? Because she's anchored everything for them, kept them in a very assertively sort of competitive space on all they've done leading up to now before they got Collier. Andy, you see what I'm saying? And they played the front end of this season without the damn MJ of the situation. And again, they're at the top tier, you know what I'm saying, consideration of all things. And Miles is looking at MVP consideration along with that. But it was Natasha Howard who has certainly sort of, I would like to say, ingrained the performance consistency that you keep seeing, because defensively, nothing's really getting in the lane on them. They're all running. Natasha's very unselfish. She's good on the outlet. She's definitely going to finish. She's good passing. Again, inside the paint and things like this, her versatility is kind of immeasurable because you don't necessarily catch it in the stats as robustly as you could, but they're effective plays. When they talk about people's IQs, again, her ability to do the right thing in the right moment, I think, is understated. And this is Natasha Howard we're talking about, everybody. You guys know I talk about her quite a bit because I think she's certainly underrated, and the value she presents on every roster she's ever been on. That's the thing about this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so it's the same thing right now, Andy. Yeah. And so as you were saying that's the difference in these two teams, and what will ultimately be the actual measuring barometer of how they finish is her presence.
Well, the scary thing for the rest of the league, Sav, is the Lynx were already right there at the top, right? Yeah. And then they go and add Miles, and now they add Howard. I mean, they have to be the favorites come playoff time without question. Now, is Collier hurt still?
No, she just came back, though. She just came, and watch this, her first night out, she did a 24-8 or something the first night out. You know what I mean? And just trying to get warmed up and get her joints loose. She did that. You would go give her grace and say, she could have gave us half that and it would have been fine. And she came out looking like she didn't skip.
You look at this team and it's almost like they're the first super team that we've ever seen in the WNBA. As far as, Howard, Collier, and Miles. When you think about it, you really haven't had a combination like that. I guess you could maybe argue back in the day when Sue Bird was playing in Seattle, you might have said something there, or maybe in New York with Ionescu and Stewart winning a couple titles. But really, this is the first, power team I think you could say has been assembled, and they're proving that it was a mistake for Indiana to let her go without question. Yeah. I just would keep an eye on Indiana throughout the second half of the season, because I still think that they don't like playing for Stephanie White, Sav. And I think that that's going to bite them in the butt one way or the other, whether they miss the playoffs or whether they don't have a deep run in the playoffs. I just think that team does not want to play for that coach.
No, I'm not necessarily mad at that idea. I sense something. Something is of discomfort there. It has been that way for a time, and I get what you're saying. I can't necessarily put a finger on it either, but I do sense it. There is there's a rigidness about that group, and that's why I don't necessarily take it as serious. And again, I've laid down my claims long ago on the Lynx, even before it started to become common knowledge, and that's when they begin to gel. We forgot to mention McBride, I think, in there too, because we're talking about the other shooter and again, somebody who was offensively very threatening typically anyway. So when you say super team, and I will say this before we hit this break, talking to Andy Sanzada, everybody's live in the 216. We always love that on this Whitewash Wednesday. And when we come back, we got a few more things to get to, but we had a little WNBA moment. And just for the conversation, Andy, and to confirm, right now as we stand, Best odds available are on the links. So you might want to get it here, people, because that plus money probably won't stay, but it's plus 110. It can't really get any lower than that. You know what I mean? So that's your indicator right there. You know, Minnesota links in case you need some money later on. Think about that. Double it up. Sit tight. We'll be back.
Want wagers that win? Weekdays will walk you to the window. Tune into Best Bets on Black and White Sports, 4 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 100.7 The Ticket.
Hey, this is Andy with Kripke Enterprises, and
Some say they have the lowest prices.
Grandpa, you have a huge selection of diamonds and your prices are so low.
Jacob, my prices are so low, I can't even say it on the radio. You must come in and see for yourself. You won't believe the selection and prices.
Grandpa, how do you do it?
Well, Jacob, I am the king of diamonds. For the right diamond at the right price, come see me, Alan Miller. Whether it's a Starfire man-made diamond, an earth-grown diamond, or a loose diamond, we have it all at Alan Miller Jewelers.
The only 3 words you need to know. Alan Miller Jewelers.
Black and White Sports.
If you dress sharp, they'll laugh and say you're showing off. If you dress plain, they'll whisper that you're broke. If you speak your mind, they'll call you arrogant. If you stay quiet, they'll call you weak. If you succeed, they'll say you got lucky. If you fail, they'll say you didn't try. Work too hard, they'll warn you to slow down. Rest for a moment, they'll say you've lost your drive. If you love openly, they'll call you naive. If you protect your heart, they'll say you're cold. Stand firm, you're stubborn. Bend a little, you're weak. The truth is this: no matter what you do, people will judge. They don't see your struggles, your late nights, your sacrifices. They only see what fits their story. One day you're too much. The next, you're not enough. And if you keep chasing their approval, you'll never find peace. So stop running after applause. Stop living in the noise of their voices. Focus on your path, your peace, your growth. Because in the end, their opinions won't build your future. Your actions will.
You're listening to Black and White Sports, where there is no gray.
Okay, last time before we get out of here on this Wednesday, it's Black and White Sports. Thank you guys for hanging out. ESPN, The Ticket, here in the Glass City, 100.7 FM it is. Also, I know they can get us state to state, hearing us on the audio side, 1007theticket.com. That's the online source. And, of course, you know it's worldwide on the visual stream level, okay? Roku devices, certainly smart TVs, and Roku is just about in every home, I think, at this point. Well, we can tell because that's where most of the audience is. So thank you to any of you guys seeing it wherever you might be in the civilized planet. We appreciate it. Just a small little offering. We just Savvy Television. We're going to try to grow, but it's happening because you're doing it. Shout out to Japan, Singapore, Brazil, UK. Oh, I like saying that. Woo! Let me say that again. Damn what they talking about. It's real. So thank you, though. If you're finding this, because we know you just, the word savvy, when you hit the search, is wild. I know it's coming up the way it pops up. So that's fly. Also to Fire TV, Apple TV, and you can certainly download it in all your devices. Android, Google Play, and of course, App Store. So you know what it is. I am Andre of the Savages. Thank you for hanging on this day. We do appreciate it. Gratitude is there. We don't act like it. It seems weird if you listen to it, okay? 877-909-1007 if you want to hit something in before we ride out. Josh Burnham is still here. He's chilling. We're in studio. He's alongside as always. And Andy Sanzala still on the phone lines, kind enough to hang out with us today and doing it via fiber optics. So we always like that. Real quick, before we go, Andy, the thing, I know you don't do it, and it's not really your hashtag in your bag, but, you know, around here it's real personal, and we like to keep an eye on it. And there's a lot more to this, but I thought because one of the most noteworthy, if not the most noteworthy figure in the entire world of boxing makes this comment, although retired, but still when he says, listen, I need you to be more conscious, and I'm not necessarily pleased with what I'm seeing. But before I get there, Andy, your thoughts on Clarissa Shields from a distance. Don't know how much you follow, don't know what you look at, but she has a real streak of popping up here as of late in terms of the social media space and so forth for various reasons, though. But I just wondered your opinions on her, and from one direction or the other, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I mean, from a distance, I think she's changed. I think that she used to be quiet and humble, but confident. Now I think she's become loud and arrogant.
Okay. And there are people conversating. And the thing is, in the boxing circle, Clarissa is obviously well respected, and I would caution people to understand that I think because of that, and I think that the Andre Wards of the game, the Uncle Tommies and Tommy Hearns and people like this, and shout out to Salida Promotions. Of course, they've always had her back and been able to again groom the young lady and evolve with her through the career. But you say something interesting, Andy, that is very difficult for me to sort of dispel, because as a partner in the Fight Time institution and being a pioneer in the streaming space where boxing was concerned, we were fortunate enough to have several interactions with the Salida Promotions family, and certainly where Miss Shields was concerned. So, I've made it clear on several occasions. I look at it from a different perspective, and certainly one of up close. And I would tell you all And I just had a conversation with a trusted colleague earlier today, and hopefully, with any luck, he'll be in here to talk about some of this in the future. But we talked about this, real quick before we got off the phone, and it's not uncommon, Andy. It's an energy that's kind of growing. It's yes, you're seeing that change, and yes, it's human. The young lady has all the money in the world now. She came up rough, had nothing. No secrets in the stories. Are certainly a victim of various kinds of abuse, and to fight, quote unquote, out of that. I think I get some of the extended chip on the shoulder energy and all of that, which is there. But Andy, there's a different sort of salacious, catty, unfortunate perspective and attitude that has been attached to not just her, but some others in what would not be associated with being possibly and more than likely the greatest female fighter that we possibly have seen and may see. So when you have that type of position, it's not hard to behave in an unbecoming style. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to miss the mark.
I get that. There's a lot of pressure from the wrong people that start coming around, and they start influencing you in a different way, But the thing that I think that she's kind of just lost track of, Sav, is when you get to that level of arrogance and you get to that brashness, right? I think you forget where you came from, and I think that's what her fans might be a little put off by right now, is that she might be forgetting where she had to come from to get to where she's at.
No, and I get some of that. Talking to Andy Sanzada, everybody. It matter. I'm gonna share something. I'm talking about Clarissa Shields here. Don't know how many of you all are female fight fans and this and that. I know we had a double up. You guys probably crazy. Like, hold on, they went WNBA, then went to women's boxing. Yeah, we did that around here. It's like that, right? But with that said, it's poignant and it's necessary because it's not so much that one, because that one she'll remind you of. She'll say, I'm still here for the underdog, and I'm still here for the kids and all of that. But there are some things she's doing that could be deemed crosshairs, like in the character department. And this is where we get concerns, right? So let me share this. And this is why when you say forgetting where you came from, I wouldn't even attach it, Andy, to as much as I forgot about Flint, because some of you should know there have been times here in recent history. I think the fight before last, or even the last fight, her blue hair color, for instance, was in tribute to Flint, because she likes to make it clear we still have no clean water there, so on and so forth. For those of you who had forgotten that somehow, that still hasn't been resolved in Flint. But I say in that standpoint, I bring it up, Andy, because she hadn't forgotten that, right? But this is where she might have forgotten. So this is what Terrence Crawford has to say as we come in here off the wall today. And I haven't done it in a while, but we have these stories. Sometimes if you check our Facebook wall, we better be careful. We're going to keep it, so we'll stop. I think we better just stop with our live presentation on Facebook. But again, we'll take it in small doses. But with that said, while we have the wall, Terrence Crawford with this on Clarissa Shields, because she's had controversies with a few ladies, Andy, also noteworthy names in the ladies sector of boxing, most notably Layla Ali. And this goes back over an extended period of time where Clarissa, I know for myself, identified and made clear on the record, Layla was a mentor. Layla instructed me. She showed me. She guided me on, watch this, ironically, my marketing and how to play my imagery. So that's interesting to think of. I just want to lay that there. But here's Terrence Crawford, though, because they've had a lot of back and forth over a long period of time, which is what brought this to the show here today and why it was of interest to me. And Terrence Crawford says, and I know he and Clarissa Shields are very close and very solid in the area of respectful relationship, right? And certainly as a fan as well, where her professional prowess is concerned. Terrence Crawford just told Clarissa Shields to stop coming at Layla Ali and respect the woman who paved the way. I actually think Bud has a point, is what this post is saying, and this is from the boxing page, by the way, too, because the way this is written, my bad, I'm reading it for the first time, you guys. You don't have to believe Layla beats Clarissa to acknowledge that she helped bring women's boxing into the mainstream. Two things can be true. Clarissa might have surpassed every woman who came before her inside the ring, but constantly tearing down legends instead of passing them, instead of just passing them, doesn't do her any favors. And do you agree though with Crawford? And again, when he says, here's the X post or tweet or what have you. The newly retired boxing superstar fires back at Clarissa Shields in this, urging her, leave Layla Ali alone and show respect to the woman who paved the way for her in today's generation. And again, you got Terrence Crawford with comments like that. That means, and that's really, Andy, a subtle way and a lighter way of saying, like, listen, watch your step. It doesn't align with, again, what you're representing. And I just pointed out, man, because it's a very painful progression to watch. And I don't think it's going to slow up anytime soon, again, everybody, unless she gets beat. Because that's almost the only thing that can stop you and make you sit up and look around and recalibrate and say, like, whoa, what took us out of focus here? What took us off of all that was working for us until, the undefeated mark that we see ourselves and has brought us down to, a humbling space. This is an interesting story.
I think you said it a couple weeks ago. Like, it's going to take her to lose to remind her of who she is, right? And I think when you behave the way that she's behaving, you're probably not focused, and you're vulnerable for a loss for sure. I would agree 100% with anything that Bud Crawford says. He's one of the best boxers ever. He respects the sport. I think he's done a lot of greatness for the sport over the last few years with his undefeated streak and retiring at the same time. Like you said, I'm not a huge follower, but I know who Terrence Crawford is.
Sure,
I mean, if you don't know who Terrence Crawford is, you've never even heard about the sport. So anytime he speaks, I'm going to listen. If he's telling her to back off, then she needs to back off.
Yeah, man, that's real. When you hear that, like I said, that got my attention. When you get that kind of commentary, and again, it's all love but keep your eye on that, people. Like I said, fight coming up, ATL, on the 15th of August. So that's on the horizon, and the story continues. But before we get out of here, thank you to Andy Sanzada, hell of a job as always. Monty Features, shout out to you. Again, Josh Burnham, always holding this thing together. Powers Beauty Supply, we appreciate you letting us do this and being a supporter of ours. 901 Nebraska is where you can find them and anything for your beauty supply needs. Also, change your decor, ladies and gentlemen, inside, without spending more. With my friends at Consignment Home Interiors, you can get over there at 6925 West Central. And also, too, while you're out and about, we know you like to imagine your home, or at least have the confidence that it is secure. Please think of my friends at the Vivint Security Compound, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Vivint versus Ring, because I know you guys know Ring, right? Well, neither system is universally outclassing the others. In case you didn't know, it's just that Vivint is better for premium, professionally installed smart home automation with active AI deterrence, ladies and gentlemen, while Ring is do-it-yourself only. Consider that, and consider calling 800-853-6497 when you think about securing your perimeter and, again, properties and possessions you care for, and even people, all right? So let's get out of here on that. Josh Burnham, thank you, man. Wednesday, we'll see everybody on the Thursday, so please be kind, be respectful, be nice, never cheat on your wife. And listen, tonight, go with the favorites again, WNBA. Let's stick with it and see what we do. We'll talk about it tomorrow, all right? Handle your business today.
Where we're at now, it can't be what is the end going to look like? It has to be, we have to take care of business today and then tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
His store and more, the Man Superstore.